officially Selection Sunday time. We are here with you live to break down where Texas Tech will land in the bracket. We'll get through our bracket projections, pick our Final Four, and map out Texas Tech's path in the March Madness tournament. Welcome into the Broadway Shuffle. We hope everyone has had a great week. The best 2 weeks in sports, in my opinion, are here, gentlemen. I am Brennan Baxter, alongside my co-host Zyler Buchanan and the one and only Conrad Mills. And we are trying our best, reacting in real time to Ludvig Oberg's choke job at the Players. Unfortunately, we were hoping to celebrate 2 Texas Tech things tonight. But Conrad, unfortunately for Ludvig, he's going to fall just short, but that's okay because we got plenty of basketball to look forward to later this evening as well.
4 strokes is not just short. 1 stroke is just short. 4 strokes is abysmal.
Yeah, it's been a tough back nine there, Z, for our buddy Ludvig. Fan of the show, by the way.
Yeah, it's tough. You felt like it was just 2 swings with the wood or the hybrid, whatever he was swinging, the 2 water balls. And then I felt like
the one on 11 was a 7 wood, I believe, that he flared out. The one on 12 was a driver, unfortunately. So,
see, that's why I appreciate having you guys. You actually know what you're talking about when it comes to golf. It was some sort of non-iron club is how I view it. And then he just couldn't get a putt to fall, man. I felt like he put himself on the green in regulation plenty of times, had a lot of stuff that was really close to the hole, and just, 2 more of those shots drop, and he's sitting, okay, right there in the mix. But that's golf, man. And I mean, he caught a lot of those breaks on Friday, didn't catch a lot of those breaks on Sunday, and that's the way. I mean, that's just how golf goes. So, yeah, onwards and upwards. We're going to be looking towards March Madness and what is sure to be a great tournament run by our Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Conrad, I know you're just struggling with this. No one's probably a bigger fan of Ludvig than you are. It's been a tough 30, 45 minutes for you.
Yeah, I don't know about nobody. I mean, I think his family may have a leg up on me, but it's one of those things, man. When you see a Red Raider play as well as he did for the first 3 days, and really, the first 7, 8 holes even of today, stinks to not see him get it done. Believe in him. Obviously, his talent is unbelievable. What he can do and how effortless he makes it look is truly a sight to behold. But just bummed it didn't work out for him today. But he'll be back, and he may be making an appearance later on the show in the Tommy Tuberville section that you need to stay tuned for, and make sure to subscribe as well for updates regarding the Broadway Shuffle and Ludvig Oberg's golf career, which we cover extensively here on the Broadway Shuffle. Every Texas Tech sport has a place here at the table at the Broadway Shuffle, and we even want to make sure that includes professional golfers that have come through Texas Tech.
I love it, man.
Brennan, what are you thinking as we kind of, before the brackets revealed, 4 seed, 5 seed, what are you kind of thinking?
It seems like that projected 5 seed is going to be good, but I did see CBS's last projection, and this was probably 30 minutes ago. It had Texas Tech as a 5, Nebraska is the 4, and it had Florida as the 1 seed. I would actually love that for Texas Tech. If you can get the 12, I think it was McNeese State, and then Nebraska was your 4. I would love that path there for Texas Tech to get to the Sweet 16. Florida coming off the big loss of Vandy in the SEC championship game. I think there's an opportunity there if that is accurate. And again, CBS doesn't know any more than we do necessarily, but I would like to see that. So 5-4 doesn't matter to me. It's go time, man. This is the most fun night of the year. We're all going to fill out crazy brackets. We'll drop our bracket challenge in the link. But Z, it's going to be a lot of fun. We did this last year. It was so much fun. We can't wait for your comments. We're moments away from the live show there on CBS, but make sure you're split screening, or you can just tune in here. We're going to watch it live and let you know what's happening. So we're glad you are here. If it's your first time, this is a fun episode to be a part of for sure. So, Conrad, I don't know about you, man, but I know that without JT Toppin, Texas Tech kind of coming in on a losing streak there to end some of the season there, including the loss at Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game. There's a sour taste in our mouth, but nonetheless, still a chance for Texas Tech to make some noise.
Yeah, this is a great couple weeks in college basketball, really sports as a whole, and everybody loves the tournament. Even if you don't know anything about basketball, you still fill out a bracket. And for Red Raiders, we have a lot of reasons to be excited about this tournament. We have a lot of reasons to be optimistic and see what takes place. But man, you do bring up the elephant in the room, if you will. It's still, I don't think I've gotten past it yet, guys. We've talked about, we've moved on in a sense. You kind of have to, but I think at the same time, you're looking at this. You're moving forward. You can still make some noise. Anything is possible in the tournament, but you are still wondering what would this have been like without JT Toppin? I think that still dampens some people's emotions about this. And I think that that's completely understandable. But I do think this Red Raider team is well coached enough. I think you've still got the guys to be able to make a run, and am very optimistic about this program, obviously. And so excited to see what it looks like. But regardless, this is going to be a great March Madness tournament. It always is. Excited to see how these teams play, and the games we get to watch throughout the next couple weeks.
Yeah, Z, and I'm thinking too with where Texas Tech is, you're going to drop. We were just 2 weeks ago thinking 3 seed, now 5 seed. So your path will be a little more difficult, but we already knew that without JT Toppin going in. So you had said on our last show that your expectations for March Madness for Texas Tech were just get to the round of 32 and put up a competitive fight in the second round. As we've now come to the brackets, it's now 5 o'clock. We'll see this any second. What are your realistic expectations for Texas Tech now? Is it solely matchup dependent for you, or do you feel like getting some rest, getting a week off, Texas Tech might have a little more in the tank?
I will have those expectations right up until I see the matchup, and then I'll say, you know what, this might be an Elite Eight run. Like, that's just how it goes, and that's the fun part about it is the hope. And nobody's ever out of it. St. Peter's made an Elite Eight from the 15 lines, so you've got the capability. It's just gonna. I think you're really gonna be matchup dependent here. If you're the 5, I want you to see Northern Iowa as the 12 seed if that's who ends up on the 12 line. The other team that I would maybe want to see there is maybe High Point. I don't want to see McNeese, and I definitely don't want to see Akron. Maybe you can back end your way into a 4, and then I feel really good about basically all of those 13 seeds. But we'll see. I think it's just fun. There were plenty of years for Tech basketball fans where you were so far away from this. I want to make sure that I keep that in mind. And I know the bracket show is tipping off right now, so we'll be reacting as it kind of comes in. So hope everybody's kind of tuning in. And wanted to shout out Ty in the chat. We appreciate you being here. And then I assume that's Tanner Bruffy. It's a guy I used to give buckets to back in the high school days. So I'm glad he could humble himself here to show up.
So Z, as we look forward to this reveal here in a second, what do you feel like the 1 seeds and 2 seeds will be? And I was reading a stat this morning that 85% of the champions since 1979 have been a 1, 2, or 3 seed. So as people are thinking about their bracket, where they should go, what teams they should pick to win, are you seeing this year in college basketball the dominance that we've seen from the 1 through 8 teams in the country? Really, are you seeing the champion come from them, or do you see something crazy happening here in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, if you had to give me the 1 seeds of the field, I'm going to take the 1 seeds. Although a little less confident in that, man. You saw Duke almost lose to Florida State. They almost lost to Virginia. You saw Michigan kind of get thrown around by Purdue. Arizona was pretty dominant, but Florida got blasted by Vanderbilt, and that's the presumed 4th final seed. So my confidence in that is shaken. Maybe there is a 2 seed or a 3 seed that can make a run here. They're definitely not as infallible as I thought the 1 seeds were last year when you saw Auburn, Florida, Houston. And we've got our first seed, so it looks like Duke's the number 1 overall. That's not really a surprise. Let's pray we don't see the Red Raiders in this particular region. We don't want to go up to the East.
So yeah, Duke, that one. Conrad, I believe you have already picked Duke to win your national championship. You said you've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. You're not going to waver off of that, are you?
No.
It's done.
It's Cam Boozer's unbelievable. It's not a surprise, obviously, that they're number 1 overall seed, although I will say of the 2 losses, one of those did come to the Texas Tech Red Raiders in MSG. Never forget one of the all-timers there. So even though we did beat Duke and, obviously we're a different team now, I will pick Duke to win the whole thing. I've said that. I do that every year. It has to pay off eventually. I'm going to stick with the Blue Devils. And I do that for a few reasons. Love the program. Love Coach K, obviously what he built there, what Shire has done even since. But also gotta go with the blue, the black, and the white. I mean, it's not red, black, and white, but it's a pretty close second in my mind. Those school colors are unbelievable. I was up on campus at Duke a few years ago. Unbelievable campus. It feels like something out of a movie. Love the Blue Devils. They're my second favorite college basketball team. Certainly not the Baylor Bears will be there. They're towards the bottom. We'll talk about their tournament chances here in a few minutes.
Oh, dang it. So Northern Iowa gets the 12 seed against St. John's. Kind of a bummer. I was hoping you'd see them. Ohio State and TCU are the 8-9 with Duke and Siena. So that's where that'll be interesting.
So disappointed to see the Horned Frogs.
So that means you avoid Duke then.
You do avoid Duke. Kansas gets the that 4 seed over there. Tough draw for the Jayhawks, man. They go out to San Diego. And then I think this regional is played up in the Northeast. So you go West Coast and then you go East Coast for the Jayhawks. Not super fun.
So yeah, so now we're starting to see this come in, and we are live on YouTube recording this in real time at 5 p.m. on a Sunday. So if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Monday morning, we'll have all the breakdown and stuff for you too. We appreciate you sticking around, but we enjoy hanging out live. If you are tuning in, I know a lot of people are probably watching on TV. They'll come over after, but we do have the chat open as well too. So we'll respond to comments throughout the show as well. Conrad, one team that's not going to be selected though, and I know this makes you real happy, is the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I don't know about you guys, but I feel really good knowing that the Bears are going to be sitting home in their illustrious town of Waco, Texas. Watching this tournament on TV brings great joy to my heart. I mean, that brand new arena, all the investment, it's tough for the Bears these days. But maybe they'll get back, or maybe they won't.
Michigan State as a 3, that is a shocker. That's kind of the first big shock of the day. Most people had them pegged as a 2 seed. Maybe Tech slides up to the 2 line.
Exactly. So you've got yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so that's 2 4s now that have been put out there. That's not Texas Tech. So
yep.
Z, what are people watching for here? Like when the bracket's being revealed, how much of it is regionality? How much of it is just teams you played in conference? What's the science behind bracketology?
So there's actually a ton. One, you can't do direct rematches, but then you also try to avoid direct rematches in the second round. But then there's really weird geography rules if you're a top 4 seed. There's a lot of different stuff that goes into it. It's way more complicated. It's not just seed 1 through 68 and then place them however they'd like. It's definitely a art. And it gets really, really confusing when you have these teams that have played 2 and now sometimes 3 times in their conference tournaments. That gets really, really tricky. So nothing really shocking so far except Michigan State being the 3. That probably means that Purdue slid up to a 2. And UConn is the other 2. That's interesting. Furman is a 15 seed is a little bit spicy. I'm going to be tempted there. I'm not going to lie. That Furman team is awesome. They're a ton of fun. They get the winner of UCLA and UCF. That's a totally weird matchup. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this in East region. UConn's looked terrible to end the year. They got blown out again by St. John's. This seems like a pretty favorable bracket if you're the Duke Blue Devils, if I had to make any sort of proclamation here.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, so I mean, right now you're looking at St. John's or Kansas being a potential Sweet 16 matchup. And look, I think Cal Baptist right now, man, looking at that 13-4 Kansas, that's looking pretty spicy.
I know.
A lot of the turmoil about Kansas and Darren Peterson, I could see a quick exit for the Jayhawks there too. So we'll see, but some potential upsets brewing. Remember, Furman had that huge upset over Virginia
in 2023,
a couple of years back, as a 14 or 15 seed. So that they're familiar with playing Cinderella a little bit as well too there. So
yeah, tough if you're – I guess you're kind of happy if you're Michigan State because you get UConn as the 2, which is, I mean, a pretty weak 2. Like that would be the 2 that I'd want. I definitely wouldn't want like Houston or Iowa State or Purdue or Illinois, something like that. But it is tough that they're not actually a 2. So you're probably not very happy if you're a Michigan State fan. That's a tough thing to see there. Also, Bruce Pearl's on my TV. Can we somehow fix that? Can somebody put a note into CBS?
Someone's got to get Bruce Pearl off.
Zyler, ESPN would never do that.
Are you watching the ESPN one, Conrad?
No, I'm not, but I've just I have switched my sports app of choice back over to ESPN. Just, got to go back home sometimes. And so, I'm just trying to give some kudos to the ESPN people over there.
I like it, man. So looks like we're going to break, but 32 teams, man. Z, what's your science on upsets? If you're looking at upsets, you got 12-5, which happens 35% of the time. A 12 upsets a 5 seed. How low are you willing to go? You got any 14 or 15 seeds this year you're thinking about?
Man, it's going to be totally matchup dependent. It's some of those teams that have kind of been floundering a little bit, or teams that I don't think can rebound particularly well or defend like really high leverage guards. I mean, Brennan, you talk about it all the time. If you don't have an elite shot making guard, it can be really tricky when it gets tight down at there. If it's a single possession game with 4 minutes left, who steps up and makes those shots? I love to see a mid-major team that has a guard that can do it. If it's a mid-major squad that won with physicality in their league and they dominated the America East because they were the only team with players above 6'5", not going to be a team I'm super excited about. I want to see somebody that's got shot making on the perimeter, and that's really where I'm looking.
So, okay, so that's I'm trying to think of like, did Dayton make the tournament? Did Dayton end up winning?
Dayton did not make the tournament.
Okay, because they had a really sneaky guard I really liked a lot. So that's sad.
There's some good guards that made the field. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens. And then the matchups, like if you got a really good like perimeter defending guard, that can just be really, really tricky. So it can be tough for the mid majors, but there's opportunity for them.
Conrad, while
Zyler,
we're
what would you?
go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to ask Zyler, what would you say to the people that, which there are plenty of them out there, not me, not Brennan, not Clayton, but there are plenty of people out there that just pick the highest seed every single time. What would you say to those people? Would you say it's a lazy way to approach bracketology and filling out a bracket, or would you say if you're trying to win your pot or the Broadway Shuffle bracket challenge, that may be a strategy to employ? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah. It's really, seed does not determine team value or team power rating. So that would be the thing. If I was going to look at it, maybe you just choose the higher power rated team each time. That would be a better way than just true chalk. But that if you're playing in a small pool, definitely chalk brackets are going to be much more helpful in winning. You got to think it's not about building a perfect bracket. It's building a better bracket than the guy that finishes second place. And so if there's 8 guys in your pool, you don't really have to be that crazy. Now, if you play in a really big pool, like a work pool, 60, 70 people or hundreds of people, you're going to have to take some swings because the leverage on picking a Final Four is going to be really high, or picking some of those upsets. You're not getting nearly the value that you do in some of those smaller pools. So really it's play your pool, understand who you're playing with, and kind of go from there.
I think something too that I've always loved doing is looking at that 9-10 window. You kind of think those teams are Power 4 teams typically that just didn't have a great year. But we saw NC State against us 3 years ago at that 11, that can get hot at the right time, make a run, get some momentum behind them. So if you really want to take a swing, I would take a swing at a lower level Power 4 team that has the potential but didn't quite reach it throughout the year. That could be a sneaky pick again there this year as well too. So if you're trying to think, how could I get a leg up on somebody, having a 10 advance to a Sweet 16, having an 11 advance sometimes can really help you out.
Yeah. And they have the athletes. Some of these teams can get lost in the rebounding and the physicality. So that's something you always got to watch out for.
So West region is now being released. Arizona is the one in the West region here. So Arizona gets that 1 seed.
Just want to point out again, your Texas Tech Red Raiders did beat this Arizona Wildcats team in Houston. Just throwing that out there, making sure nobody here on YouTube forgets that win. All-timer again.
Great win. They actually beat them in Tucson, Arizona. They didn't beat them in Houston.
I said Tucson. Did I?
You said you said they actually beat them in Houston. Unless you're talking about no, you're good. I just wanted to make sure we also beat Houston as well this year too. So
it's really hard to keep it up with all the wins.
It is.
So Conrad, Brennan, do y'all think the Auburn Tigers make it in? They've obviously been making this big push at 17-16. Bruce Pearl's on CBS vouching for them.
No, you can't put a team in that is 17-16, 1 game over 500.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Can't do that.
We'll see.
That'd be disrespectful to all the other teams that worked hard.
Okay,
we're not that 5.
Wisconsin comes in as the 5 in the West region. So Texas Tech, we're having to be patient here, waiting our turn, man. I'm getting anxious. High Point
over Wisconsin is going to be a popular pick, very popular pick.
All right, there's a 12-5 matchup considering for your bracket. Conrad, how much are you stealing from Zyler here during the show? Because I'm kind of just waiting for Zyler to give his thoughts, and then I'm making a mental note. When I go fill out my bracket, it's time to pretty much copy Z. Z's got to you can't play her hand too much here.
Yeah, man, this is going to be interesting. Who's this 4 going to be? What if it's the Red Raiders? Yeah. Oh, it is not. It is the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas.
I would have loved to be in this particular pod. Like, give me
now what's interesting though, Z, is what I talked about previous. With Florida being that 1 seed, Nebraska being the 5-4 matchup, it is looking more and more likely that will be
you get Florida,
your region, and you look to be getting Florida, barring something crazy at the bottom of this bracket.
You are not the 6. BYU makes the 6.
So it's looking more and more like Texas Tech will be. Is that the Midwest region? Is that what region we have left?
So they haven't seeded Michigan
South
yet. So Michigan's going to be 3rd, and Michigan's probably going to get wow. NC State goes to the play-in game.
Darion Williams.
Wow.
Darion Williams. Conrad has to go. So
you leave Texas Tech, I forget you, man.
One thing that I was thinking about too here as we think about brackets, and yes, Conrad, I see your comment as well too, to make sure to join our bracket challenge. We'll drop the link and everything. We'll post it on our socials throughout the week. It'll be free. We're going to have some great prizes as well too. Some fun things we're cooking up for the winner of that. So make sure to stay in and tune that out, or check that out. But Conrad, Last year, you had a pretty good run. I believe. Did you win our personal one too? You're usually pretty good at picking brackets.
Yeah, it's one of my hidden gifts. You wouldn't think that based on some things I've said on the show, but when you get 68 teams there and you're just looking through them and thinking who's going to win this and who's going to win that, from time to time, I get some right and turns out well for me most of the time.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Okay, so that's interesting. Missouri and Texas both in. Good for the SEC. Wow, Purdue gets that final 2 seed. That's a little bit shocking.
The Big Ten championship win might have pushed them up a little bit there.
Yeah. So teams that are sweating right now, man, if you are SMU or Miami, Ohio, Santa Clara potentially could be sweating. Maybe the Aggies are sweating. That could be a surprise.
We like that. But by the way, can we take a quick pause from the bracket? Did you guys see the A&M video that I sent you in the dugout from the A&M baseball team? Did you guys see this?
I did.
They never fail to give so much ammo.
I don't know why these two players chose to do this as the handshake, but if you're unfamiliar, they get very close to each other. One backs up into the other one and they, touch each other's legs or whatever. It's just a bizarre looking scene in the dugout there for the Aggies. So typical of the Aggies, but they do it to themselves, Conrad. I mean, we can't just, what are you doing?
It's on brand. I don't know what else to say. On brand for the Aggies.
Totally on brand, man. It was funny. If not, if you want to see it, we can drop a link to that as well. It was hilarious.
No, we don't want to subject anyone to watching that. It's disgusting.
You don't. Yeah, Hayden says there have been 2 A&M videos this week. So
I know, man.
Aggies are struggling to control themselves down there. I'd love to see them not make the tournament. That bums me out that Texas made the play-in game. I do hope that NC State beats them.
God, I mean, it's like, do I root for Darian Williams or the Longhorns? I think Darian, right?
Darian. Dude, you never root for the Longhorns. That's just rule number 1.
Unless they played TCU or Baylor, I would root for the Longhorns there.
Man. In basketball, or are you talking about basketball or football?
It's Hitler versus Stalin. Who wins?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which one. Yeah, I mean, I hate Texas more than TCU and Baylor, personally.
I could do too.
It's like 1A, 1B, and 1C for me, celebrated by 0.001 for each one of them.
It's close. Very close.
I know I told you this, and this is so random, but when I was friends with David Thomas when he was back at Friendship High School, and then he played on the 2005 Texas National Championship team, I forgot he sent me a Vince Young signed football card. Mm-hmm. So I've just like random, super old, probably worth like quite a bit of money, signed Vince Young card. Really random. I found it the other day. I was like, huh. So
that's gonna be one of our prizes for the bracket challenge.
We'll give that away for free.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So man, I'm a little worried for Miami, Ohio now. Is the committee going to leave them out?
Dude, I feel like they've got to be at least in the play-in, in my opinion. You know what? You go 1 loss all year.
Yeah, you lose 1 game, and that's not enough for you to make the tournament.
Yeah, like I just think that sets a poor precedent. Even being in the mid-major, I just feel like that sets a poor precedent.
If it
you
was
win
easy,
30 games, you win 30 games.
If it was easy, you'd see way more mid-major teams do this. We've never seen a team do this.
Exactly. So, are we surprised that Tech hasn't been announced yet? Are we surprised that this is the region you'll be in? I mean, this is kind of an area I was kind of expecting us to maybe be in Portland. I kind of thought we'd be there, but with Arizona being that 1 seed, they're keeping us away from that as well too. So has Houston been? Will Houston now be on your side of the bracket?
Potentially, they could be a 2. Which I mean, if you're having to play a 2 seed at any point in the tournament, I think it's been a really successful run. So
yeah, if you're getting that far,
yeah, we'll see what happens here. In the South would be fun though. I mean, that would, and you got to project, but you would be going to Houston in the regional if you were able to get out, if you're in the South region, which is, I mean, that would be fun.
And that's the only region that's left been called.
No, we still have so they've done the West, they've done the East. I think we still have the Midwest.
Oh, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I don't know. I didn't hear on the broadcast where they called, but.
Man,
guys, I'm not really that surprised Texas Tech has not been announced yet. I mean, you got to save the best for last, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Will you guys be going to the games? Will you guys be going to the games?
If they're an OKC, oh no, I won't be going to the first round. I'll go if we make it to the Elite Eight or Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think I would go to a Sweet 16 Elite Eight run for sure. And then anything Final Four potential would be there as well.
Now you've got to figure
It could
out.
have been, man. It could still be, but
There's
really
no
could
way
have
the
been.
committee drops you far as like a 7 seed, right? They're not going to say because you lost 3 in a row. There's no way, right?
No. You'll be a 4. I think you'll be a 4 or 5. I think you get that last 4 or the first 5.
Zyler, I feel like that would be college football playoff level committee disgraceful.
Yeah,
that happened.
I mean, so far it's honestly been a pretty good job. I understand most of the decisions that they've done. This committee does a much better job than the CFP committee. I mean, we remember and we've had all these, conversations about it. They're not going to talk about red zone efficiency as a reason to drop a team or ranking.
Yeah, and the Final Four is in Indianapolis this year, I believe. So it'll be there at Lucas Oil Stadium, great venue for college basketball as well too. If I before we get to the more of the bracket, if I had to go and give you guys a grade, because it's going to be hard to do this when the season ends as a whole. But if you had to grade Texas Tech basketball's regular season, what are you giving it?
A. You finished top 4 in the conference. I think that's an A to me.
A, but I will say it could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would honestly say A as well too. I'm tempted to go A+, and I know maybe A+ would be perfection and that sort of thing too. But with the wins you had this year and how you won with some of those games, it just makes me feel personally like you did everything you set out to do, and you were an unfortunate injury away from one of the best players in college basketball from probably being a much higher seed and having a legitimate shot at winning a national championship. And so if you take the Toppin injury into context, I'm very tempted to give Texas Tech an A+, just because it's of what you're able to accomplish with some of these wins. You just never see it. I mean, you had Iowa State on the road, Duke neutral, Arizona road, Houston home. Just an awesome, awesome season.
Yep. It's a bummer. Random bracket note. Random bummer that UMBC Howard are in the playing game. I think both those teams are actually like decent for. Wish they would have automatically been in the pool.
Well, that'll be
Brennan,
fun.
So you're not wrong.
What did you say, Conrad?
You're not wrong with anything you've said, but losing to UCF on the road, and again, I get we have trouble there. Losing to Kansas, obviously, I know the circumstances there. I don't know, man. I just feel like there was losing to Arizona State. You lost top in that game, and then losing, ending the season the way you did, man. I don't know. It has too much of a recency bias taste for me. That's not positive for me to go A+, even though the wins were incredible.
Oh, your Texas Tech Red Raiders get announced as the 5 seed.
Oh, here we go. 5 seed in Tampa, Florida. Texas
Don't
Tech.
show me Akron. Do not show me Akron. Do not show me Akron. Dang it, it's Akron.
It's Akron.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, so, why are you so concerned about Akron?
Akron is legitimately like a top 50-ish team. So this is like equivalent to getting TCU as a 12 seed. They're athletic, they're physical, they play super fast, super chaotic, love to press, and they've got guards and wings and post players.
Alabama is your 4.
Oh man, which is fine. I'm fine with Alabama being the 4. You can play with Bama.
Guard play right there is quite crazy there with Phylon and Holloway. But yeah, their bigs
and
aren't
Nate
anything.
Oates, baby. Don't forget Nate Oates.
Their bigs are not anything special. But wow. I was not expecting Bama Tech to be in that same region there in Tampa Bay. I might as well, guys, I do own that. I do own Bama basketball. I don't know if you guys saw my half court shot video from the Coliseum there of the Crimson Tide. First attempt drained a half court shot there the day after they beat Auburn. I let them know how we do it in Texas. So I think we'll be good there.
That.
Yeah.
And you remind them that Texas Tech football lost by less points in their college football playoff game.
Miami, Ohio, right? SMU both make the field.
Okay, so they're in.
Auburn likely. No
even as a first 4, I think that's fair. I think you've got to reward teams for success. You can only play who you play. They're a part of the same system. We talk about this in football a lot. 30 wins is 30 wins. That's hard to do. I think you got to reward that to an extent. And they did. It's unfortunate for them. I think they'd be for sure in the field if it wasn't, not in the play and if they had won their conference, but still in nonetheless. And SMU sneaks in as well too. So
Virginia is the 3. They'll go play in Philly, man. That this is gonna be tough for all. I mean, that's a really good region if you're Virginia, man. You get to play in Philadelphia, they'll have a home crowd there for sure.
So Akron Z, we're looking at this 5-12. It's going to be on Friday. That's a Friday game. Usually I feel like Texas Tech plays on Thursday a lot of the times too. Have we had a
Yeah.
Friday first round game in the last couple of years? I mean, I might be wrong, but for some reason I feel like we always get it right off the bat. So, hey, you won't be one of the first teams eliminated. You'll see a bunch of teams go out before you.
That is nice. You'll feel
You know,
like you're in the tournament.
You're in. I always like the teams that are on Friday. It feels okay. The 16 teams are gone. You know, we've got a chance. We're down to the last 48. All right. So Virginia the 3, Kentucky the 7 here in the Midwest region. Tennessee the 6. I'll be honest. I'm not super scared right now.
No.
See, Iowa State is now in your side of the bracket as the 2 seed.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean, if we get to play Iowa State, that's great. That means we somehow beat Michigan. I think it's set up really well for Michigan if you're over there. It's, you know, when I look at Akron's their profile right now, the thing that really jumps out, it's the tempo offensively. You know, they're going to play super fast, and they shoot almost 39% from 3. That's top 15 in the country. Really good at 2-point percentage. We have not been great at stopping the 2. So I think it's going to be an offensive battle. Not a great defense, but definitely not a bad defense for a mid-major team. They played in the same conference as Miami, Ohio, and they only lost one time. They went 19-1. So they're a good team. Not as tall as I actually thought they were, 350th in the country. So that's actually a relatively short team. They're going to roll out 2 6-foot guards at the front, and then 6'3", 6'6", 6'9". So you can maybe play on the size side a little bit here, and I think that really helps with Jalen Petty and Christian Anderson. Can these guys bother Christian is what I think is going to be really interesting.
Well,
do they try to force a lot of turnovers?
And I obviously have not studied Akron that much yet. I'll get into it more throughout the week, and we'll have our episode come out Thursday to break down that game and Texas Tech's path as well too. But based off what you're telling me, I like the matchup in the sense that if you're telling me it's a guard versus guard matchup, I would take our guards with Anderson and Petty and what they're able to do over anyone else's guard play. I was coming into this tournament thinking when you get overmatched size-wise, you're going to be in trouble. So if you would have told me that Akron had 2 big dudes, a power forward center type matchup that's going to be very difficult to stop, and maybe they will, but when I'm just hearing guard play, that to me is a good sign for Texas Tech.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think the Alabama, it's not like you're getting a bad team. You're very much getting a good team that's better than you right now. I love playing teams that are going to be perimeter reliant. Give us some high variance. We'll play that way. Man, we will fire up the 3s too if you want us to fire up the 3. Not a great defensive team, similar to kind of how we are right now.
That sounds to me like Tech and Bama, you could probably get up 50 to 60 3-point shots in that game pretty easily total.
Oh, I think so
that would be
that'd be a great game to watch.
That would be a fun game to watch for sure. So Conrad, based off what you're seeing here, Texas Tech to the Sweet 16, yes or no?
I do think we will beat Akron. I think the Bama game is going to be an absolute show, assuming they beat what's that? How do you even say that team? Like what is that even?
Who did they get? I didn't. Hofstra.
Yeah,
Hofstra had some 2 guards that can make some shots. They have some dudes.
Yeah, but not enough dudes to beat Bama.
Maybe.
Nick Saban coaches the Alabama Crimson Tide. What are you talking about, Zyler?
No, it's Nate Oates. I can't believe after all this crap I talked about Nate Oates all year, he might end up my team's season. That is just going to be horrible to experience.
No. Hey, I will say it's not. I mean, those 2 teams, you can beat those 2 teams, right? Like those are 2 winnable games. You're gonna have the best coach in both those matchups, and I think that says a lot in March. And so I think Sweet 16. I'll put the percentage points right now. Right now, we just saw it released. I'll give you 60%. 60.
Oh man,
that's
60.
That's a good percentage right there. I'm taking that. 60. I'm taking that to the bank.
Zyler disagrees. He's going to pick. Zyler's going to be the Tech podcaster guy that picks Tech to lose against Alabama in his bracket.
We'll see. We are gonna give our final 4 projections here. We're not gonna release our entire bracket either because that wouldn't be fair to the rest of the listeners. They're gonna take us and then they'll go get a perfect bracket. So we can't, cheat on the Broadway Shuffle challenge there too much. But we will do that. I will say though, what is the chances here when you're looking at the upper side of that bracket? Z, with Michigan as your 1, the 8-9 matchup there. Is there a chance you don't face Michigan if you advance, or does Michigan look like a cakewalk team? And then how would you match up with Michigan in the Sweet 16?
If we matched up with Michigan in the Sweet 16, job well done. I know I keep saying that. They've just got so much size.
There's no hope from Z, the Tech's going to the Elite Eight.
They've got Yaxel Lindeberg, who's like a 6'9", like point forward, and then they've got Ademara, who's a 7'4" shot blocker, and then they run Roddy Gale, and they run Elliot Cadeau, and they run your old Texas Tech teammate, Namari Burnett's out there. There's a lot of size. They just kill teams with size, and they love to run in transition and bomb threes. I think it would just be really hard to rebound with Michigan. I think that would be a really, really, like, imagining our boy Luke Bamboye trying to rebound with Ademara and Yaxel Lindeberg. It would be a nightmare. We just don't have the size anymore without Toppin. I would have felt great with Toppin. He can rebound with those dudes. We just don't have the elite rebounder anymore. So, but you never know. Let's play the game. Let's get there and let's see what happens. Maybe we go.
Yeah, you got to take care of Akron first and potentially Alabama or Hofstra. But I honestly, you're right. I mean, if you're just breaking it down analytically and what you see on paper, you're 100% correct. But if we've learned anything about March Madness, it doesn't always go how it looks on paper. And so that's kind of what Texas Tech is hoping here for, Conrad. Okay, so you've got Duke. I guess we should go to do this. We pretty much know the last number 1 seed here. What is it going to be?
It should be Florida and Houston.
Florida and Houston between them. So, and
is that kind of a bummer? If that's in the South, that means Houston will play their regional as the 2 seed if they make it there in Houston, and Florida as the 1 seed will be a massive, will not have an advantage when it comes to the home court.
So maybe they're giving
Florida's the last 1 seed.
Okay, so Florida's the last one. There you go. So, Conrad, with the 1s and 2s now being announced, you want to go ahead and give us your final
Where's
4.
the bracket? I'm trying to see a visual. I don't see a visual.
Florida's the 1 in the South, then it'll put Houston as the 2 in the South.
Yeah, probably Houston.
I'd pick Houston. Come out of there.
Okay, so
do we have like a visual graphic yet? Or no?
Once the South is officially announced, it'll show the full field. So we're almost there. Again, if you're listening,
then let's wait till we get that.
You want to see.
I need the visual.
You got to see.
I need the big picture. I need to see it all before I distill all my knowledge, my college basketball knowledge, which is absolutely elite, into a Final Four prediction that is perfect. Because everybody's bracket is perfect this week until Thursday.
It is. You are arguably one of the most hidden gems of knowledge when it comes to basketball. In college basketball, you like to stay humble and keep it low key, but you're college basketball, and we know you. Know. You just don't want the listeners to know that you know.
No, and I mean, the hidden gem for the Texas Tech Red Raiders is a guy. I think he's the 12th man on the bench. I mean, his name is Brennan Sorsby. I think he's going to play a really big factor in this tournament run.
Yeah, Brennan Sorsby. Yeah, it's crazy. They need to sprinkle. Got to sprinkle some magic a little bit, and I think we might have just lost Z here on the live show. Again, we are recording this live on YouTube. It's 5:30 Sunday, so if you're listening on Monday on Spotify or Apple or YouTube, we wanted to break this down in real time. It's always fun to do that. I'm seeing some comments here from Randy. How is Anderson? It's been reported that he'll be good to go, so no two worries there. Z, can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, he's back.
Wi-Fi overload. So many people trying to submit brackets on the Broadway Shuffle bracket challenge. I think it flooded our Wi-Fi. So, but I'm back. We're here.
You're back, baby. Yeah, and make sure to subscribe on YouTube. It's 100% free. It helps the show. We love growing a big community of Red Raider fans. We've got a lot of exciting content and things coming out this spring and summer as well too. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. And if you have, as always, we appreciate the Shuffler family. We're so thankful for you. We love you guys, and it's a ton of fun. So we're almost there, Conrad. We've got 3 games left to be picked, and then the full field of 68 will be complete. Illinois gets a 3 seed, a team Texas Tech fell to earlier in the season. So it's almost there, man. It's time. They get Penn.
I know. Illinois is going to slaughter Penn. Fran McCaffrey, former Iowa coach, coaching at Penn now. That's kind of crazy that they put Penn there. That feels a little bit lazy by the committee. I think they probably thought Harvard was going to win that spot, and so they said, okay, we'll just slide Penn in right there. That, to me, is a little bit lazy.
Okay, okay, so Penn goes there. St. Mary's is the 10 seed. Man, A&M. A&M gets there. St. Mary's is the 7, A&M's the 10. So A&M does sneak in.
Let me drop if you guys are familiar with Red Raider Sports, as all of our listeners are, you guys need to hear a stat that Ben Golan just dropped on Twitter that I'm going to float out there for the listeners. Akron is 0-4 this season against teams ranked in the top 125 per Ken Palm. Texas Tech is number 20 right now. Akron's 0-4. That makes my pick even easier than it already was if the stats back it up, right, Zyler?
Maybe. I mean, first time for everything.
I can, I think first time for everything there as well too. Any idea what the game time will be for Texas Tech on Friday? That gets released later tonight. I believe game times get released this evening. You know,
The worst was it Thursday when we played NC State and we were like the last game of the night? You just had to watch your team kind of get pounded into oblivion. I think it was a Thursday late night game.
Hopefully it was a late. It was like a 9-10 game against NC State, something like that when you played them. Yep.
I think we will get a prime time slot. I think the TV audience is going to think that Akron team could knock off the Red Raiders. People are going to want to tune into that. I bet we play at 4 or 6, something like that. I'm glad we play on Friday. It's nice playing on Friday and feeling like you're still in the tournament as all of the chaos happens Thursday. The only way I want to play Thursday is if you guarantee me the win, because then you can watch completely stress-free.
Yeah, I like that. Does St. Mary's beat A&M from Hayden? That's an absolute yes.
Yeah, I think
you could get a Houston A&M second round matchup in Oklahoma City. That would draw a pretty big audience.
Yeah, and there was that game. Was it 2 years ago with Jamal Shed where Houston played A&M and it was a crazy back and forth game. A&M hit that shot at the buzzer to go into overtime, I believe. I think that was 2 years ago.
What I will say is I'm really excited that Tech gets 8 days off. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's a good point too, Conrad.
8 days off.
So it's official now. The bracket's complete. You have 10 SEC teams, 9 Big Ten teams, 8 ACC, 8 Big 12, 3 Big East, 3 WCC, 2 Atlantic 10. The last 4 in officially were NC State, Texas, SMU, and Miami, Ohio. And the first 4 out were Oklahoma, Auburn, San Diego State, and Indiana.
Wow. Man, so they're saying if Dayton would have beat VCU, that Miami, Ohio would have missed the tournament. I mean, that would have been insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so they sneak in. Thank God Auburn didn't get in. Thank God OU didn't get in as well, too. I was kind of 19 and 15, 17 and 16. That's just a little too mid for me to put.
And I think people will always say, like, they played the number 1 strength of schedule. Golly, that's got to earn them something. It's like, yeah, it earns you consideration at 17 and 16.
Right. Yeah.
That's the benefit. Like we're not talking about Arizona State because they didn't play that tough of a schedule. So
and I've got this on mute, but they're all looking at Bruce Pearl on the CBS broadcast, and I'm sure he is complaining about Auburn not getting in, and they're just shaking their heads. So Bruce Pearl, he'll be my Tommy of the week just by assuming what they're talking about.
Mine is going to be CBS for replacing Jay Wright with Bruce Pearl. Like, are we serious? That's an insane downgrade.
Maybe if he wouldn't have abandoned his team before the season, they would have made the tournament.
You're correct.
Nepotism at its finest there on the plains in Auburn, Alabama, man. So the bracket is officially set, man. All right, we're here, and now we can break it all down. What a fun time. It's so fun reacting with you guys live, too. I hope everyone else is enjoying, whether it's 1 person or 10. I don't care who. We have a good time here doing it.
51 right now.
51.
So share it with a friend. Share it with a friend.
There you go. Let's
get us to 100.
Let's get more people on here. But the field is set. So let us know in the comments who you've got in your Final Four, how far you think Texas Tech will go, what you think of the matchup against Akron, and then potentially your second-round matchup against Alabama. So, Z, now that you're looking at it, you've had a couple minutes to process. Thoughts on the bracket overall?
Yeah, I think the committee did a good job. I think ultimately that's important. I want to have faith in the committee doing what they're supposed to do. And I think them doing that, it gives me comfort. I think 5 seed is fine. I think your resume would have justified maybe a 4, but it's so tricky. I think Retired Trader had a really good question here. Did y'all see what seed Chris Beard's team got? Did we notice that anywhere?
Dude, I missed them.
Were they
missed Ole Miss? They flirted there for a little bit. They could have stole a bid, which would have been hilarious, but thankfully no Ole Miss, no Chris Beard, no Mark Adams this year in March Madness.
Tough. Hate to see those guys miss the field. But yeah, I think the draw is fine. I think if I had to pick a 4 seed for you to play, when I look at what it could have been, would I rather have Bama or would I rather have Kansas? Maybe Kansas. Would I rather have Bama or would I rather have Vanderbilt? I think I would have rather had Vanderbilt. Would I rather have Virginia or Alabama? I don't know. I don't believe in that Virginia team, but I think they are good. I think that's kind of right there in the middle. You're not going to play a bad 4 seed. Those teams just don't exist. I think Alabama's probably pretty happy there are 5 seed, but you got to play the games.
I think what scares me about the Alabama matchup potentially, and we're not looking ahead, assuming we're beating Akron, but if that's who you do get in the second round,
I am.
You're looking ahead, which is good. Nate Oates has had success in March. This is a team that's been to the Final Four, that's been to Elite Eights, that he coaches really good guards. He's had, Mark Sears from last year who went pro. He's coached even Jaden Bradley, Arizona, started at Alabama. And so when you've got Phylon and Holloway there, they can make some noise. They can shoot the lights out of the ball at times too. That does worry me when we talk about guards getting hot in March and making a run. But, to counter that, Texas Tech's got some pretty good guards as well too. And so I think that would be a super exciting backcourt matchup there with Alabama if you get that. But that would be a toss-up game for me. I wouldn't necessarily have a lot of confidence going in thinking like, oh, you're going to win this game. I think it would be literally a toss-up.
Yeah. And I think you play a style that Bama will let you play. Like, they're really not going to force you into bat. Like, the defensive end is not where they make their money. Now, they're going to punish you, I think, offensively and with rebounds and shooting at the rim and shooting 3-pointers. But I think it'll be a high-variance game. If either team wins by 20, wouldn't shock me at all if that ends up being the matchup.
Yeah, and hey, they've got really good G League players and felons too. So, it's good there. Nate Oates treats his assistants really well, I've heard, down in Tuscaloosa. So, in terms of a potential upset, I would love to see us knock off Alabama. You're right. I totally forgot about the former professional player they've had on the roster. Some people were thinking Alabama shouldn't even be allowed in the tournament because they played a professional player. And so Texas Tech might be able to humble them there in the round of 32.
Yeah.
Conrad,
drop your Final Four predictions here down below in the comments, and we will react to them after we give our Final Four predictions.
All right. Well,
yeah, go ahead,
Z. I was going to say, before we get to Final Four predictions, I did want to thank our sponsors for the episode, Hub City Body Shop and Wonder Tree. They do a great job sponsoring our show. Huge fans. We appreciate them. If you're a local Lubbock business or if you need help with your car, make sure to check out Wonder Tree for all of your marketing needs and Hub City Body Shop for anything on your car. Z, I was going to mention or ask Conrad as well, too. Before we get to Final Four predictions, I did want to officially lock in our Texas Tech predictions with a caveat. You're not allowed to change this. So when I see your bracket come up on Thursday at 11:10, Texas Tech better well be exactly where you say they're about to be right now. So I'm putting you on the spot. How far will the Red Raiders go in the 2026 March Madness tournament?
I like Grant McCaslin much more than Nate Oates. I've made that extremely clear. I will take the Red Raiders to lose in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
Zyler Buchanan, the wisest man on the podcast, said it well.
The Sweet 16 is as far as the Red Raiders go here on the Broadway Shuffle. That's tough, man.
Well, you didn't give your prediction.
I'm the one asking the question. I get to hold off till
now
Thursday.
I'm asking you the question.
You're asking me the question. Okay. I've got, 12 versus 5, 35% of 12 seeds beat 5 seeds.
Stop it.
I think I might have to be that guy, man.
Don't be that guy.
Akron, Ohio, home of LeBron James. Great city there. Give me Tech to the Elite Eight, baby. Texas Tech knocks off Michigan, finds a way to get to the Elite Eight, and then in a Big 12 rematch with the Cyclones, lose again by 25.
Here's a question I'll pose to you. Which Big 12 team do you feel the most confident about making a Final Four? And which one are you most confident loses in the first round?
Arizona.
TCU loses in the first round, and Arizona.
Yeah, I like Arizona in the Final Four, and I would go Central Florida.
Ooh, that's another really good one. So let's say of the top 4 seeds, so Kansas and Iowa State and Arizona, and who's the other one? I'm forgetting. Houston. Which team do you think is most likely to not make the Final Four? Of those, so
Oh,
Kansas, Houston, Iowa State,
Kansas.
Arizona.
Kansas.
Think Kansas?
Yeah. I think Kansas
Dude,
is
I
legitimately
don't
going to
believe in
lose.
Iowa State.
But the thing is Kansas is the 4 seed and their 5 being St. John's, who's just so physical. I think they can make it very uncomfortable and ugly for Kansas. So even if Kansas does get by CBU, which I'm saying they might not, I don't think they have a fighter's chance against St. John's person. I think Kansas is a first weekend exit for sure.
Here, I would pick Cal Baptist, except for the fact that I watched their championship game last night, and it might have been the ugliest jerseys I've ever seen on a basketball screen.
Oh, well, you can't have
It's
that.
It's like Dijon mustard brown and navy, and the primary color is the Dijon mustard. It's terrible.
You can't have that.
It was awful. I cannot in good faith pick a team that has that poor of a uniform selection.
Okay, so any chance here, Conrad, when you're looking at, you've got Arizona and Houston in your Final Four. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, you will. You
Okay,
are
then
understanding that correctly.
And then you've got Duke.
So-
So who's coming out of Texas Tech's region then for you?
I'll take. Wait. No, you're looking at it wrong. Houston will come out of.
No, Houston's in the South. We're in the Midwest.
So you've got Houston beating Florida.
I've got Houston beating Florida. I've got Duke beating UConn, or not. I don't know how far UConn's going to get, but Duke's going to get there. And then I've got Arizona, and then I have sorry, I was looking at the wrong side of the bracket. Forgive me. And then I've got Michigan.
Okay,
so Michigan, Arizona, Duke, and
so Houston being the only 2, but you've got 2 Big 12 schools there. Are you so with that, your champion is Duke over one of the Big 12 schools then?
I'll take Duke over Arizona.
Wow.
That would be a phenomenal Final Four game. And the thing that you're looking at now with these 1 seeds, like Michigan lost a really important player in LJ Kaysen. Duke lost Patrick Ngamba and what's his name? Caleb Foster. Patrick may be back. Caleb Foster broke his foot, probably not likely to be back. They've just taken some chinks in the armor have appeared. And I think that makes it a really fascinating tournament. And it gives you a lot of leeway to say, maybe this 3 seed can make a run. Maybe this 4 seed can make a run. Maybe this 7 seed can knock off a 2 seed. I think that at its core is what makes March Madness the best, is the hope that all 68 of these teams have. Nobody's looking at their matchup and saying, well, there's just no way we can win this game. Akron is looking at it like, oh, I'm so glad we got Tech. And we're like, oh, perfect. We got this tiny team that we can push around. Like that's the thing that's really fun and makes it really unpredictable.
I love that. We do have a prediction from Randy Lloyd, Final Four, Duke, Houston, Gonzaga, Michigan. So Randy also has Michigan knocking off Tech at some point, depending on how far Tech goes. So, all right, Z. So Conrad's got his Final Four locked in. Who are you going for your Final Four?
I need to pull up the bracket. I like Houston out of the South, I think. Is that where they are? I like that as a 2 seed. I don't know what to do in the Midwest, where it's like I don't really love Michigan, but also you have to pick somebody that's not Michigan. I will take Duke. I will take Arizona. Those are, I think, 2 really easy picks. What I do in that Midwest region, I just have no idea yet. That's going to be really, really tricky. If I had to gun to my head
You've
right
got a
now,
gun to your head right now.
Gun to my head.
Don't like that terminology, man. Don't like it.
If I have an arrow to my head, I will take.
Thank you.
I don't like any of these teams. Honestly, Alabama's a team that could make a sneaky run. Like they'll shoot enough threes to beat Michigan if they get there. Unfortunately, they're going to run into the Texas Tech Red Raiders. You know what? Give me Iowa State. I'm going to pick the wrong team here. Let me go down on the Big 12 hill. I'll take Iowa State to come out of that region.
The conference blinders are on Zyler all the way. Football, basketball, does not matter what sport it is.
I don't like
Zyler has been bought.
No, I don't like Iowa State as a team. I just don't think what they do is projectable. I don't want to pick Michigan. I don't know, man. It's really tough. That's a really tough region. That's going to be the one I have the hardest time picking, and I'm almost 100% certain I'll get it wrong.
This region is crazy tough for me because I don't ever trust Michigan in the tournament. By the way, Texas Tech did knock off Michigan in the Sweet 16, so you could get a rematch of that game that you dominated back in the day during your Final Four run. And then Yeah, I just never trust Iowa State. Kentucky is a 7 seed. Like, I'm not sold on them if they were to upset and make a run. And then Virginia, with what Odom's doing, they're a great story, but are they really there yet to like make a run to the Final Four out of this? So it just seems like the answer's in front of you. Dusty May's been to the Final Four, Florida Atlantic, good coach. Maybe it's just there. I'm going to take Michigan out of this region as well, too. I just think the answer seems to be obvious. Usually that means you could be wrong, but I think I'll be taking Michigan out of this region as well. I love Arizona and what they do. And then, dude, Florida has looked absolutely terrifying. Tommy Lloyd, but I'm going to pick Illinois, I think, out of this region, out of the South. I think Florida is imperfect. I think Houston can struggle to score at times. We've seen Illinois and their size and their ability to score. So if I'm looking at a 3 seed in the South, I'm looking at Illinois, and then I'll go Duke as well. I think same thing. So I've got Duke, Illinois, Arizona, and Michigan in my Final Four.
That'd be a really fun Final Four.
Who's your champion?
I'm going to put the Big 12 blinders on as well, too, here, and I'm going to say Arizona. I think that this team doesn't have many weaknesses outside of losing to Texas Tech at home, and I do think that Arizona is battle-tested, played in a tough conference. They've got the bigs. They've got the guards. They're well-rounded. I think the Duke injury for one of their best guards will come up to – what was his name again, Z? I'm blanking on his name.
Who are you talking about?
Duke's guard.
Oh, so they'll run Boozer. They'll run
the guy that got injured.
Oh, Caleb Foster.
Foster.
Yeah.
I think without Foster, there, a little lack of depth there. I think that injury will be big coming down the stretch. So I like Arizona to cut down the nets in April. So there we go.
It should be a fun one, man. A great bracket. One of my favorite days of the year. Always excited to do
It's going to be fun, man. It was fun being here with you guys too. So as we wrap up again, we were live on YouTube. It's 5:50 on Sunday. We'll be back on Thursday morning to break down, give our official predictions for Texas Tech Akron. Get more scouting on what you need to know about the Akron Zips, I believe. Is that their name? The Zips?
The Zips.
So we'll get everything you need to know on the Zips, get you to that on Thursday morning as well. But before we do that, we've kind of teased our Tommy Tubervilles. If you're new to the show, we go through a Tommy Tuberville, not a huge fan of Texas Tech, not a huge fan of the Broadway Shuffle. And we like to go through our frauds of the week in the world of sports. Conrad, you've teased it, but I'll let you officially have your moment here.
Yeah, it's hard when you have to give a Tommy Tuberville of the week to a fellow Red Raider. It's tough, but it must be done. Accountability is a big part of the Broadway Shuffle, especially when it comes to our fellow Red Raiders. Ludvig Oberg, love him, one of my favorite golfers. Shot 76 today on Sunday at the Players. He finished 9 under for the tournament. The winner of the Players was Brennan's lookalike, Cam Young. Play nothing alike, but they do look alike. He finished at 13 under. If Ludvig would have just shot 71, 1 under par, would have won the tournament by 1, but no, 76 today for Ludvig Oberg. Did not get it done on the biggest stage, what would have been the biggest stage of his career. So very disappointed in him. That's just the way it goes sometimes, what he said in his press conference. I'm sure he's very disappointed, but we're bummed for him, but you do have to hold him accountable, and that's what we do here on the Broadway Shuffle. So he'll get it done soon. He'll be putting on a green jacket here in a few weeks, but at the same time, accountability does come for us all.
Yeah, it's a tough one for us, unfortunately. We were hoping to celebrate a Ludvig win, but we'll have to wait here for a couple weeks, hopefully, in the Masters. So, Z, who you got?
Dude, mine is Robert McIntyre. I cannot stand, and I will hate every golfer that is unathletic in build. When they show up there and it's clear that you are fat and overweight, I'm just like, get off of my screen. I do not want to watch you win this pristine athletic event. I want to look at elite athletes. Robert McIntyre wears too much sunscreen. He can't fit in his T-shirts. He's my Tommy Tuberville of the week this week because I hate watching him play.
Wow, dude, that's surprising. I love Bobby Mack, man. He's such a goofy,
he's a great player.
Chubby guy. I like him.
I watch the guys like just spray on sunscreen and they're sweating everywhere, and it's like this guy's top 3, and it's like, how is this guy leading a field of elite athletes? That bothers me. Maybe I'm fat.
Golf is a sport, everybody. Golf is a sport.
So we're doing
without question
two golf Tommies. I didn't know if we'd ever get there. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Let me give an honorable mention, golf Tommy. Can I give an honorable mention?
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy for not being built physically fit enough on that train, Zyler, to withstand 4 days of walking a golf course and swinging a golf club. Not physically
It's a
fit
very
enough,
fair
man.
point.
Yeah,
Very fair point.
he struggled. Well, you know what? If we're gonna go down this route, I'm just gonna pick Colin Morikawa as my Tommy because he took a practice swing and blew out his back like on the second hole on Thursday. So I'll pick Colin, man. We'll go Tommies across the golf world here tonight, and we'll just hold all these people accountable. If you're playing golf and you injure yourself on a practice swing, that's a tough look, dude. It looked like everyone that tees off on a Saturday morning for fun. Like it looked like me and you practice like, oh, my back, I blew it out. You know, not ready to go.
I'm gonna do that next time we play. I'm gonna say I can't handle it. Gotta go get a refund.
So, all right, we're holding the golf world accountable today on a
Conrad
bracket.
Mills
On a
withdrawn
bracket
from
show.
Shadow Hills.
Yeah. That's
Did not
awesome.
post
Hey,
it for.
Conrad, you did play. I think before we go, I want to give you your flowers. You played Horseshoe Bay earlier this week with some friends and family, and you played pretty well. Shot 83. That's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you pick up a club after 6 months off and you just fall back in love with it, man. Now it's all I can think about. I was looking at pictures of the course today, and man, it's just we may have to start a golf podcast. I mean, golf's good for your soul. Golf's good being outside. It's good for all athletes everywhere, with the exception of Bob McIntyre. But it's a fun sport, man. I'm really looking forward to playing more. Hopefully, these next few months until it gets cold again and we lose daylight and all that stuff happens in the fall. But at that point in life, Texas Tech football will be winning another 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games. So we'll see what happens next year. But looking forward to golf season with you guys.
Yeah, it's fun, man. We do love the game of golf here on the Broadway Shuffle, and we'll hopefully be cheering on Ludvig and other Texas Tech players for many years to come. But, man, that was fun. March Madness is officially here. We will be back Thursday morning to break down Texas Tech's region, the matchup against Akron, and the potential matchup against Alabama. We also will be reacting live to games after they happen. So depending on the timing of the game, when it comes out, we'll release reaction episodes looking ahead. We're with you all of March Madness to break down Texas Tech's path to a Final Four. We appreciate all of you who tuned in. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. Like and subscribe. It's 100% free, and follow on Spotify and Apple. But we appreciate you, Shufflers. We love you all so much. Wreck 'em Tech, and we'll see you guys next time on the